name is Maya, that very cute girl you've probably seen before. You happen to be Kendra, right? Hey, would you give me an answer, please? Who are you again? Huh? I just told you my name a second ago. This is why I hate texting with old hags like yourself all the time. You all seem to have no idea how to frickin' read. First of all, I'm not sure who you are, Maya. In what ways are you related to me, if at all, that would have you texting me like that? Huh? God, what kind of annoying crap are you trying to pull here, you old hag? So this must make you younger than me by a bit? I am from Christian University and am a fourth-year student there. I also happen to be 21 years young. In other words, I'm a fun and outgoing college cutie still. So you're Maya from Christian University. I see. Now, would you mind telling me exactly what you want right now? All right, let me tell it to you straight. I want you to break things off with my da. Your da? What does that even mean? Are you trying to say your dad or your darling? Darling, duh! Okay. So then what you're getting at here is that you've been going out with my husband, and you would like for me to divorce him for you? That's right on the mark. And what merit is there for you to be taking my husband from me? Well, I could tell you that I am deeply in love with him and would like to make him my husband, but I also need him so that my life out of college is smooth sailing. And, well, what better way to make my life go by so easily than to start dating and soon marry the head of the company's HR department? The head of the HR department? Is that what you're after? Once I've entered the company, I won't have to do a single thing in order to make a paycheck. Can I just ask you about something, just for my mind's sake? What do you want to ask? Do you have any idea what you're doing telling the wife of the man you've been secretly going out with that he's been cheating on me? Oh, right. You probably want to talk about the settlement and all that. Well, that's totally fine. I'll also be willing to give you $50,000 for the divorce as a way of paying off any settlements. So you're assuming $50,000 will be good enough for me to feel comfortable with what's happened? Yep. And considering that he is so in love with me right now, I thought it would be nice to pay for him as well, hence the total being $50,000. I think that amount is very generous of me and will allow me to marry him after. Is that right? Just so that you're aware, I'm going to save this conversation for a later date, so please don't be upset if I take a few screenshots of it. What? Why do you want to do that? All you have to do is sign the divorce papers and everything will be over with. What's the point of taking pictures of this convo? I'm sorry to break it to you, but divorcing someone isn't as easy as it sounds. I have to make sure I have proof of the fact that my husband has been cheating on me so that this divorce goes off without a hitch. Also, in a divorce, there's things like splitting one another's properties and child support if the couple has kids. Plenty of other things, too, that have to be taken into account. So this is going to be very different than when you're just breaking up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Well, I guess I'll leave all that in your hands. When it's time that I can go ahead and start filling out the marriage forms, please let me know and I'll get right on it. Huh? See you later! Gary, good morning. I'm on the train currently, so I can't call you right now about this.
Good morning, Kendra.
Have you already started to head to the office?
I actually just arrived here a second ago. Is there something you need from me?
Well, I have some information on one of the students from Christian University that's slated to join the company here soon. Would you be able to set some things up for her in advance for me?
Understood. Can I ask, though? Why do you need me to work on that now for you? Did you find something wrong about her that has led you to ask such a thing?
Well, Gary, there's a very high chance that a woman like her would not be a very good fit for this company. And considering that you are the head of the HR department, things will fall on your shoulders if things go sideways regarding her. So that's why I'm asking you to please prepare for her in advance.
Understood.
Also, I would like you, for the time being, to not bring this conversation we've just had up with anyone else until I say it's okay.
Why should I be doing that?
I just need this to remain between you and I for right now, so please just do as I've asked and I'll explain things in more detail later. I'll be out for a little bit now as I have a business meeting with one of our customers, and it won't finish up until a little bit after 11 today. Please keep a close eye on her from now on when she comes into the office.
Will do.
Hey, what's going on here? Why haven't you responded to me for the past few days now? Have you gotten anywhere in that divorce I asked you politely to deal with? I said that I'd be willing to give you $50,000 as part of the settlement for taking your husband from you. You should be so happy about that kind of money since you're nothing but a housewife and nothing else. Why are you not telling me anything, Kendra? You'd better get to it with that divorce while I'm still willing to give you this $50,000, all right? If you continue to try and resist, then I'm going to drop the amount I pay from $50,000 to just $5,000. Is that really what you want to have happen? You'll be letting $45,000 slip right through your fingers. Now, I suggest you hurry up and finish what's already been started. It's not like your husband loves you anymore anyway. Oh, and you better be completely divorced before I graduate college or else there will be some serious hell to pay. After I've graduated and am married to him, I'll be able to get into that company with no questions asked and will never have to work a day in my life for my paycheck. Now, I really don't want you getting in the way of any of that plan I've made, so hurry it up already. Then consider this the end of that informal offer you were given. What? You freaking bitch! What the hell have you done? What is it you want now? My job offer from Mills Central was voided. Why did that happen? You don't have any idea why something like that would happen? I don't, and that's why I'm asking you right now. This is about you and the head of the HR department. Have any guesses what's happened there? All I know is that I told you to get a divorce from him so that I could get married to him and he would be able to let me have free reign inside the office. What does that have anything to do with the offer being voided? Well, let me tell you why, Maya. From what it sounds like, you wanted to get into this company, my company, so badly that you were willing to go and start a relationship with the head of the HR department in the hopes you'd get to marry him? What? Your company? Why would you call it your company when you don't even work there? Wait, could you be a part-timer there or something? Not a part-timer, per se, but I am working in this company. Oh, well, that's a little bit strange. From what I was being told by Wallace, his wife is a housewife and doesn't work at all. Well, the head of the HR department here is single. What? Just a few days ago, he was divorced by his wife. Huh? Wait, what are you talking about? Why are you saying that like you weren't his wife or something? Wait, so this means you guys have gotten that divorce then? Oh, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Maya, are you sure you're not forgetting anything right now? Forgetting what? Didn't you start texting me because of your informal job offer being voided? Oh, that's right. I was thinking about the strange way you were talking and the divorce. But now that you've already gone and divorced him, there's no reason for me to chat with you anymore. I'll go talk with Wallace and have him go into the system and have me placed back into the company so that I can get my job there still. No problem at all. Maya, do you really feel that you're going to want to work for Mills Central? You were just going on about how you planned to use the head of HR as an easy way to get into the company. And you said once that was accomplished, things would be smooth sailing for the rest of your life, right? What the heck are you thinking you're doing right now? You already know what I'm thinking about right now. I know that Mills Central is one of the highest paying companies in the state. It's very famous for that one reason. But because the company is paying everyone so well, they probably have a very rigorous hiring process and work environment, right? That's where I had an idea. By starting my internship at this company in the past year, I could use my time there between studying at school to get to know all the really high-up people in the company. You know, the department heads and the managers. I'm very, very young and pretty after all, so there's no telling how many of them I can lure in to give me a break. Not only has this past year shown that a lot of the managers there are really into me, but I should even be able to manipulate the CEO. Once I've gotten that far up in the company, then I can have all the higher-ups hand my work to everyone else, and I can just sit around and relax, right? No one will be able to get mad at me either for that, because I'll just have their bosses fire them on the spot for it. This is going to be so easy for me, and I'll be paid very well for it. That's my plan of attack, Kendra. So you think you can get even the CEO to fall into your hands? Considering I'm such a young girl who looks so beautiful, it'll be a piece of cake. Well, I'm sorry, but said cake doesn't even exist. Huh? Oh no. Now the old hag is going to get all jealous of me. Well, I can totally understand you getting all hurt by my plan now after having your husband abandon you over a little cutie like myself. But here's the thing that's really strange to me, Maya. All of you interns that we've had working here should have been informed 2 months ago that there was a new CEO elected to take over this company. What? A newly elected CEO? That's right. 2 months ago, the former CEO of my company ended up becoming very ill. Therefore, he stepped down from his position so that he could focus on his health more. And then a new CEO was elected to take his place. Huh? Well, that's not going to change what I'll be doing. I'll still make sure that new CEO falls into my hands and does as I say. No, I really don't think you should even attempt something like that. Huh? I happen to be a straight woman, which means I'm only into men. What are you going on about? Why are you talking about what direction you point in when I'm talking about the CEO? That's because I'm the newly elected CEO who was brought in 2 months ago. Really? Is that who you think you are? Wait, what? In other words, I'm the one running Mills Central now. Huh? Huh? Wait, what the? For about the past 6 months now, the idea of having that offer voided was already in the talks. Back when you took the company entrance exam, you completely bombed it by not even filling out the Scantron sheet. You just filled in the bubbles in a way that spelled, "I'm in." Wait, no way. You're the CEO now? There is one other thing we must talk about here, and that's about the misunderstanding you still seem to have. I've never been married before, which means I was not the wife of our head of HR. What? But in his smartphone there was a contact labeled Kendra, my wife, okay? That's why I was always asking you to divorce him for our sakes. That seems to have just been the wish that he had. His wish? There were a lot of times where he would flirt with me in the office before I became the CEO, and it seemed as though he really wanted to get with me. What? Which is just gross, considering he was married at the time. And even when there were talks about me becoming the next CEO, he still kept that inappropriate behavior up. Well, it seems he's a lot like you, isn't he? I think when he heard about me becoming the next CEO, he tried even harder while flirting with me to make me his new woman, because he wanted to do the same thing as you. Become involved with the CEO romantically so that he could have free reign in the company. You see what I mean? What? Well, now that you've been able to catch up on everything, let's talk about how you won't be working in my company. You failed that entrance exam, and now your offer has been officially voided. And even had you passed the exam and the offer was not yet voided, there'd be no way for me to allow your hiring considering what you just told me. You'd become a major liability here. And as for the head of HR, Wallace, we had him removed from this company. He was removed? He continued to hit on me inappropriately at work and was also having a secret relationship with one of the interns, you. So he had to go and was replaced by someone far more reliable. Anyhow, you've been given that same fate and will not be working here either. Your offer has been voided and we will no longer have you working for us as an intern. I was only given an offer from Mills Central. So, and I'm just about to graduate from college. I see. Well, then that leaves you with only a month or so to find yourself a company that will be willing to hire you soon. Do your best, and hopefully now you know that you can't just force your way into a company by manipulating those in charge. What? I'm also going to warn you that there will be a settlement coming soon for you from the ex-wife of the ex-head of HR, Wallace. What? I wish you the best of luck with your future, young lady. Wait, Kendra! That settlement, and the fact that I won't get any use out of Wallace anymore, I don't have as much money as you think. I'm just a college student and haven't even been working part-time to save any money up. How am I supposed to pay a settlement? Are you really saying that I'll have to pay his ex-wife for sleeping with him? That's how things work in the real world. That's why I'm wishing you the best of luck right now, as you're going to need a lot of it. Now, I'll be going, Maya. Wait a second. Are you really being serious about all of that? I was just taking things easy in school, passing with the minimum scores, thinking that I'd get into a company with my looks and never actually have to work. That's why I spent so much time during this last year flirting with all those higher-ups. Why is something like this happening to me? My life was supposed to be smooth sailing after I graduate. For starters, the ex-head of the HR department, Wallace, was officially dismissed from the company today and is now no longer on the payroll. The dismissal also came without a package, and his only option was to file for federal unemployment. He also will end up having to pay his ex that settlement she's asked for, wiping out all of his savings and most likely putting him into some debt. And after 2 weeks had passed, I heard about how Maya was forced to drop out of college last minute by her parents, because she wasn't even expected to graduate with the grades she had. Her last-ditch effort was making a relationship with someone inside my company and having them hire her, no questions asked. But since that plan of hers didn't work out at all for her in the end, she's now back at her parents' house working on their farm. There was also a settlement asked for from her by Wallace's ex-wife, so she'd have to pay that off. Her working on her parents' farm was not making her enough money to pay off that settlement in time, and since she didn't have a good enough credit score or anything to get a loan, she had to get another job. That being a factory job where she now works the night shift for 12 hours before coming home to work all day on the farm. That still wasn't enough for her, though, so on weekends she's working part-time at a small supermarket down the road as well to make that extra little bit she badly needs. Because she has begun to work so many hours and only has time off to get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, she's started to pick up the nickname hardly working by a lot of the people she's around, after they heard about how she ended up in that position. Who knows how long she'll have to hear that name for, but it'll probably stick to her until the faraway day comes that she can move out of there. But while she's still there having to work so hard, the number one thing I hope she takes away is an understanding of how the real world works. Hey Jack, you saw the divorce papers I left on the table for you, right? I've already signed them. You hurry up and sign them too, okay? Then get them to the courthouse as soon as possible.
Wait just a second, Zoe. What's going on? This is all happening so fast.
I'm not waiting. I want to get a divorce as soon as possible.
Tell me, Zoe, did I do something wrong? I've been racking my brain ever since I found these after getting back from work. And while I may not have been a perfect husband, I have no idea what I did to make you do this. So please, can you tell me why? If there's anything I can do to make our marriage work, I'll do it.
There's nothing you can do to make this work, Jack. We're done.
Even if that's true, just tell me why you... I honestly have no idea why you would do this to me. I won't be able to sleep at night unless you give me a reason.
Seriously, Jack? I was planning on doing you a favor and leaving you with your dignity intact. But if you insist on me taking even that from you, then I guess I'll oblige.
If you were really concerned about preserving my dignity, I don't think you would have left a stack of divorce papers on the table and left without saying a word.
Okay, well, don't say I didn't warn you. The reason I'm leaving you is your salary.
My salary?
When we got married, I thought you'd make a decent enough income, but holy smoke, was I ever wrong about that.
But, really? I mean, sure, I might not be making Elon Musk kind of money, but my salary is more than the national average.
Yep, there it is. I was waiting for that. We have completely different concepts of our finances. Money may not be the most important thing in the world, but it is really important for married couples to be on the same page. But with a gap in understanding as big as ours, there was no way this was ever going to last very long. It was only a matter of time that our relationship would end like this.
I definitely see where you're coming from. It's super important for couples to have shared values with things like money. But if that's really all that's wrong here, then can't we talk things out? I'm sure we can come to an understanding if we took some time to discuss it.
Sorry, but no thanks. I feel like I'm going to be the only one who ends up having to make any compromises, and I'm not interested in a marriage where I have to do all the sacrificing. I've already talked to my parents about this too, and they're totally on board with me divorcing you.
Wow. Let me think this over, okay?
Fine. You have 3 days to make up your mind.
What? 3 days? That's nowhere near enough time. You talk to your parents. I want to talk to mine about this too. Can't you give me more time than that?
Be grateful I gave you 3 days. I was going to give you until tomorrow.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not. And and out of the kindness of my heart, I agreed to compromise again to give you 3 days. You know me, I don't like it when people keep me waiting for important things. 3 days is all you're gonna get.
I can't believe this, but okay. I'll talk to you again in 3 days.
Okay, 3 days is up, Jack. Did you sign the divorce papers yet? Remember to take them to the courthouse with you.
Yeah, I signed them. And I have them with me right now.
Good. By the way, my parents and I are going to go to the courthouse with you.
You are? Why?
Sounds like they want to have a little word with you before we're officially over. I bet they're going to tear into you about being a poor loser.
Poor? Come on, Zoe. I told you before, my salary is above the national average. We're upper middle class, not poor.
Would you please give it up already? We're getting divorced, and that's final. No amount of whining and pleading from you can change my mind.
Unreal. All right, I'll meet up with you all in front of the courthouse at 1. Hey, Sienna, you got a sec?
What's up, bro?
Would you stop calling me that? You're my little sister, not my college roommate. Anyway, you're free now, right?
You kidding me? I'm bored out of my mind. Classes are still out for the summer, my boyfriend's working, and none of my favorite Instagram accounts have any new content out, so yeah, I've got nothing to do.
Perfect. What would you say about going to the courthouse with me today?
The courthouse? Wait, this is about your divorce, yeah? How does this involve me?
Zoe just texted and said that her parents are going to go with me when I turn in the divorce papers. Something seems, I don't know, off. So I was wondering if you could come along with me, disguise yourself so they won't know it's you, and listen into our conversation so I have a witness.
Frankly, I would rather sit here doing nothing than play detective with you.
I'll give you $100.
Detective Sienna here, reporting for duty, sir.
Well, that's what I thought you'd say. Okay, you know the park out in the back of the courthouse? Meet me there at 12:30.
That park's pretty big. Where should I meet you?
You remember the big swing set we used to play on when we were kids? How about there?
Gotcha. See you then. Hey, Jack. Thanks for submitting the divorce papers like a good little boy.
Yeah, sure, whatever. By the way, are you sure you're okay with no property division? We were only married for half a year, but I think you'd be entitled to get about $2,000 or so for me. Do you really not want it?
$2,000? It's not worth the trouble. And the divorce was my idea and all, so you can go ahead and keep that as my parting gift to you.
Yeah, nice parting gift. Well, if that's what you really want, I guess that means we're done then.
Yep, bye-bye.
Thanks for tagging along, Sienna. You were a big help. I'm sorry I had to go and get you involved in this. It's my problem, not yours.
Hey, for $100, I'll get involved in any trouble you want me to.
You always would do just about anything for money.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby. But I gotta hand it to you, Jack. You saw right through them, didn't you? The very moment you handed off that stack of papers to the courthouse clerk, she said, "Phew, now I don't have to worry about him finding out about my affair anymore." She said it pretty quietly, so you probably couldn't hear her, but I was standing right behind them, so I heard it all loud and clear.
You really earned your $100, Sienna. You started recording them with your camera just in time to get all the dirty details on tape. That makes my next step way easier.
Your next step, huh? What are you gonna do now?
Hiring a private detective. He might have a tough job ahead of him, since I'll need him to look into past affairs in addition to current ones. But it's what I'll need to do in order to have hard proof to use against her.
Okay, have fun with that. Let me know if there's anything I can do.
Nah, you've done more than enough for me already. Tell you what, when things settle down around here, I'll take you out to have a nice dinner one night.
Free food? I'm in.
And you can even bring your boyfriend too if you want.
Wow, you're feeling generous today.
He is dating my little sister after all. Gotta keep tabs on him too.
Jeez, you're starting to sound like Dad. Hey, you've got some explaining to do, Jack. We just got back from submitting our marriage certificate from the courthouse, and this strange person I've never met before asks me if my name is Zoe, then hands me this massive envelope. And when I opened it up, it said, "You're suing me?" What is your problem, Jack?
I heard through the grapevine that you were going to get married today. Congratulations. I hope the two of you are very happy together.
You can cut the sarcasm, Jack. Listen up and listen good. We are divorced. That means I can do whatever I want with whoever I want. So what makes you think you have the right to sue me? I don't know what internet forum you got your legal advice from, but you can't sue someone for remarrying after divorcing you. I get it, you're still in love with me and want me to get back together, but I'm telling you for the last time, that is never going to happen.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. I'm not suing you for remarrying. I'm suing you for your affair, the one you admitted to, remember?
What are you talking about?
I guess you didn't notice, but I wasn't alone on the day you and your parents came with me to submit the divorce papers at the courthouse. I had an acquaintance come along just in case, and that acquaintance heard the entire conversation you had with your parents in secret. Most importantly, they heard you saying that you didn't need to worry about me finding out you had an affair.
No way!
No, of course, just overhearing that alone wouldn't be enough to win a court case against you. So I hired a private detective to do some more digging for me. I was concerned at first, but I didn't know if you were still having the affair or if it was ongoing, meaning there might not be any way to catch you. But then, I got help from a very unexpected source.
I don't like where this is going.
You said the envelope was thick, right? There should be 2 other envelopes inside of it. One from me and one from your new husband's ex-wife.
Huh? Oh, you're right. There's one more in here.
She had been suspecting her husband was having an affair for quite some time, and she had been gathering mountains of evidence against him. She was generous enough to provide me with all the evidence that she had. Thanks to that, I was able to finally make my move against you today. So tell me, Zoe, how does it feel to get sued by your ex-husband on the day that you got married?
No way. You mean you actually waited until the day we got married to do this? On purpose?
Your new husband's ex-wife was the one who came up with the idea. And it seemed so hilarious to me that we teamed up and coordinated it.
I don't believe this. You are such a scumbag, Jack!
Yeah, I don't want to hear that from you. You're the one who decided to carry on an illicit affair rather than have the decency to divorce me.
But we're divorced now, aren't we? And you didn't know about my affair when I divorced you, so what's the problem?
Here's an opportunity to give you a legal lesson. It turns out that by law, I can still sue you for infidelity after our divorce as long as the infidelity was discovered within 3 years of the date our divorce was finalized. So, yeah, I can 100% sue you.
Really?
I'm sorry, did I foil your perfect plan? Did you think that you could get away with what you did scot-free as long as you divorced me before I found out? Well, it doesn't work that way, Zoe.
No. So, you're really gonna sue me? Like, for real?
Let me put it this way. You see the dollar amount on page 4 of the stack of papers I sent you? You should operate under the assumption that you're going to have to pay me an amount pretty darn close to that.
Oh no. Well, whatever. Unlike you, my new man's the kind of guy who can pay for something like this with no trouble. I may have made a slight miscalculation, but it's not going to be that much of a problem.
Is that so?
Yeah, it is so. He's a big shot in a wedding consultancy company. His salary is way more than yours ever was or ever will be. He's got talent, ambition, money, power, the total package. Some low-tier nobody like you isn't even in the same universe as him.
Now I get it. I was kind of baffled by your parents' response to all this. I would have thought they'd tell you off when they found out about your affair, but no. They actually became accomplices in hiding it. I guess they were so thrilled about the prospect of gaining some wealthy guy as their new son-in-law that they made a terrible mistake.
Mistake? What are you talking about? This is totally the right move for me and them. It's a complete win for everyone. My husband's a big shot businessman. And starting today, I'm gonna live the spoiled and pampered lifestyle I deserve.
Hey, about that. I don't think your husband's gonna be any sort of big shot for much longer.
What? Why not?
Think about it. He's an executive in a wedding consultancy company, Zoe. If word gets out that one of their company execs was involved in a salacious affair, what effect do you think that would have on the company's business? Did you really think there wouldn't be any consequences at all for what you two did?
Wait, so he's gonna get fired?
You'll have to talk to him about that. I'm going by deduction here. I'm not privy to the internal workings of his company. It just seems like the most likely outcome would be a combination of demotion and pay cut, at least. I'd say him getting fired isn't totally out of the question either, though.
How can you be so relaxed about this? My lifestyle is on the line here.
Your lifestyle, not mine. As long as you pay whatever settlement we agreed on for my lawsuit, whatever happens to the two of you after that is none of my concern.
Hey, about that. I was looking at the papers and, well, there were a lot of zeros in the amount you're suing us for.
That shouldn't be a problem for your husband, right?
But
You can talk about the finer details of the settlement with my lawyer, and he'll be contacting you soon. As for me, I no longer have any reason to speak to you, so anything you want to say to me, you can say to him.
wait. I've been doing some thinking, and maybe getting divorced isn't such a good idea after all. What do you say, Jack? It's not too late for us, right? We can work things out. I get it, Jack. The reason you're suing me like this is to scare me into taking you back. You're still in love with me, and as long as those feelings are there, anything is possible. We can be a couple again. It'll be great. I'll be your devoted wife, and you can be my doting husband. I'll even think about not nagging you about your low salary anymore. Jack, are you there?
A few days after that last exchange, my lawyer told me that Zoe still wants to try to get back together with me. As I predicted, her husband got fired from his company after that, and she divorced him that very day. But like I said, her life isn't my problem anymore, so I told my lawyer to just ignore her and keep negotiating the settlement. As for me, I put in a transfer request to my company after the divorce was finalized, which was accepted. So I'll be moving across the state within the next few weeks. I also heard my sister's boyfriend propose to her the other day. He seems like a really upstanding guy, so I'm sure he'll take care of her. My lawyer finally reached a settlement with my wife and her new ex-husband yesterday, and they'll be starting monthly payments next week. Obviously, my ex-wife doesn't have that kind of money, so her parents are selling their house and borrowing the rest from relatives. The last I heard, they were all living together in a cheap one-room apartment and working day and night in order to make ends meet.